Hello, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Today, playing some Gruul Energy in Historic. Before I get into the deck and talk just a little bit about it, the usual YouTube stuff, like, comment, and subscribe if you can. Thank you very much for doing that. And information about the deck list as well as timestamps are in the description, as always, just in case you want to jump ahead into the first game. So since we're playing Energy, we're going to be playing the best Energy creatures in the game. We have 4 Longtusk Cubs, 4 Voltaic Brawlers, 4 Electrostatic Pummels, and 4 Bristling Hydras. These are going to be the main threats of our deck. All of these generate energy when they enter the battlefield, except for the Longtusk Cub. It says, however, whenever Longtusk Cub deals combat damage to a player, you get 2 energy. Make note that if you do give double strike to the Longtusk Cub, you can generate 4 energy in a single turn if both of those hits do make contact with the opponent. And then it also has an activated ability that says pay 2 energy. You may put a +1/+1 counter on Longtusk Cub. There's no limit to this ability. Let's say you have 10 energy stored up. You can put 5 +1/+1 counters on the Cub. Next, the Voltaic Brawler, a 3/2 for 2. This is the one that you're all familiar with because it's featured in a ton of Gruul aggro decks. When it enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy, and then you may pay 1 energy when the Brawler attacks. If you do, it gets +1/+1 and trample until the end of turn. Very, very good value creature. Next, the Electrostatic Pummeler is probably the reason to be playing this deck. It is a 1/1 for 3, so it's quite vulnerable, but it does give you 3 energy when it enters the battlefield, and then it has a great activated ability. It says pay 3 energy. Electrostatic Pummeler gets +X/+X until the end of turn, where X is its power. So if it's just a 1/1, you pay 3 energy, it goes up to a 2/2. You do it again, it goes up to a 4/4. You do it again, it goes up to an 8/8. You get the idea, right? Let's say, however, you pump it up with a pump spell beforehand, give it +4 power, it's now 5 power, then you pay 3 energy, it goes up to 10/10. You do it again, it goes up to a 20/20. Not a 20/20, but it'll go up to 20 power, rather. See how this gets out of control real quickly, right? Next, Bristling Hydra, a 4/3 for 4. It enters the battlefield, gives you 3 energy, just like the Pummeler, and then it has another activated ability, pay 3 energy, put a +1/+1 counter on the Bristling Hydra, and it gains hexproof until the end of turn. Great little way of protecting itself, and it can make it very hard for opponents who are playing a lot of spot removal to remove the Bristling Hydra if you have 6 or 9 energy stored up. Next, we have some more energy support cards. Attune with Aether, 4 of. This is 1 green and your ideal turn 1 play. Search a library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. You get 2 energy. That 2 energy can be used down the line, and then, of course, just getting a basic land to fix your mana is always helpful. Next, 4 Servant of the Conduits, a 2/2 for 2, enters the battlefield, gives you 2 energy, and then it can generate 1 mana of any color for the cost of 1 energy. And then 4 Harness Lightnings, 2 CMC, instant speed spell. This is our main energy removal spell. It says choose target creature, you get 3 energy, then you may pay any amount of energy. Harness Lightning deals that much damage to that creature. So let's say you play an Attune with Aether on turn 1, and then you play a turn 2 Harness Lightning. We will actually have 5 energy stored up. That means you could pay up to 5 energy to kill a creature. However, you don't have to pay all this energy. Let's say you cast this spell, your opponent has a 2/1 on the board. Well, you can just put 1 energy into it, kill it, and then save the other 2 energy. You can also cast this, pay 0 energy, save all 3 energy, maybe for an Electrostatic Pummeler pump, and just move on with the game, right? So lots of tricks to be done with the Harness Lightning. Next, we have a few more utility spells in the deck. 4 Blossoming Defense, 2 Snakeskin Veil. Both of these are protection for cards like Electrostatic Pummeler. Blossoming Defense gives +2/+2 and hexproof until the end of turn. Casting this, putting the Pummeler up to a 3/3, and then doubling it up to a 6/6, and again up to a 12/12 is very powerful. Next, Snakeskin Veil. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature and it gains hexproof, same idea. And then Invigorated Rampage and Collision Colossus, both of these as 2 ofs. These are going to be our ways of really pumping up our Pummeler and giving it trample, because trample is going to be very valuable. There's no point in having a giant creature if it can just get blocked by a 1/1. Invigorated Rampage gives +4/+0 and trample until the end of turn, or it can give 2 creatures +2/+0 and trample until the end of turn. Again, you cast this on the Electrostatic Pummeler, it becomes a 5/1. You double it, it becomes a 10/2. and so forth. And then Collision Colossus, just so you don't have to hurt your neck, you can read it down there. Collision, a 2 CMC instant speed spell, really great against decks like Angels. It says Collision deals 6 damage to target creature with flying. And then Colossus, the spell that you're mostly going to be casting in this deck, instant speed 2 CMC, target creature gets +4/+2, and trample until the end of turn. Another great card to cast onto the Pummeler before you're pumping it up. And then, of course, we're playing 3 Embercleaves in the deck because, well, it's a silly card, right? If you put it onto any of our threats, things are going to get out of control real fast. Over in the sideboard, we have 1 more Snakeskin Veil, just in case you need a little bit more protection, and then 2 Heroic Interventions if you run into decks that are playing heavy board wipes. Next, 2 Grafdigger's Cages and 3 Scavenging Oozes. Grafdigger's Cage obviously good against graveyard strategies and collected companies. Scavenging Ooze also good against graveyard strategies. Magma Spray as a 2 of, just a little bit of removal just in case we're going up against like Elves, for example. You need to take out Lords, bring in the Magma Sprays. And then Thragtusk, just as a 1 of, really good against aggressive opponents. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 5 life, and then when Thragtusk dies, it's a 5/3, it leaves a 3/3 behind. And then a couple of cards to bring in against the control matchups. 2 Cindervines. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, Cindervines deals 1 damage to that player. Over the course of the game, this is going to deal 4, 5, 6 damage to the opponent. And then it has a really cool activated ability to destroy an artifact or enchantment and deal 2 damage to its controller. A lot of the time, you're going to find targets for that and get a little bit of extra damage onto your opponent. And Chandra, Torch of Defiance, a card that might be a little difficult for, let's say, Jeskai to deal with. It enters the battlefield. It does a lot, or not, when it's on your field, it does a lot of things. It ramps you. It deals 4 damage to a target creature. It also does continuous damage to your opponent each turn. And if you can manage to get the emblem onto the field, well, that's going to get out of control real fast. So that is the Gruul Energy deck. Going to run it through a few games and see how it goes. See you over there.
All right, time for some historic Gruul Energy. Hope it goes well. Opening hand, well, lots of lands, a little bit of energy protection, but only 1 threat. Could keep it, but I feel like it's probably not going to be enough. It's close. I'm going to mulligan. All right. Throw away the mountain and I guess lead on the Stomping Ground tapped. See what the opponent is up to. Maybe this Bristling Hydra will be able to carry me to the wind if the opponent is on mono red and I can get out the Bristling Hydra on turn 4, which seems to be the case. That's going to be a pretty difficult threat for the opponent to deal with. I'm going to be generating 5 energy. I had to use 1 energy for the Servant, unfortunately. So I only have 1 turn of protection on this. A Goblin Warchief. Okay. Well, I guess the plan now is... Well, the Pummeler's interesting. My plan was going to be attack with both the Servant and the Bristling Hydra and then equip the Embercleave, but now I'm wondering if I should just put out the Electrostatic Pummeler and aim for like a big attack next turn with the Pummeler plus Embercleave. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Alright, put out the old Pummeler. Up to 8 energy. I could put out the Longtusk Cub as well. Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to lose 1 energy here, but being at 8 versus 7 is not a big deal. The only thing that'll suck is if I draw an Aether Hub next turn, because then I would have been at 9 energy. I could have pumped the Pummeler 3 times. A second Goblin Warchief, so they're getting a significant discount on all of their stuff, and a Krenko that is going to have haste. Make 3 more Gobbly Boys. Okay, well, Blossoming Defense is fantastic, so I guess I am attacking with everything. It's going to give that a discount of 4. Yep. See how they block. Okay, so I'm going to throw this on the Pummeler. Going to equip the Cleave onto the Pummeler. Going to get it up to 16 power. And it looks like enough damage to me with the Servant. Oh no, it's... What am I saying? It's 32 damage on its own. Oh, I love Pummeler plus Embercleave. Alright, so up against Goblins. Grafdigger's Cage, definitely going to come in. I also like Magma Spray in this matchup just so I can take out like a Script Prospector. Okay, take a look at the main board. I don't know how much protection I'm actually going to need in this matchup. Of course, the Blossoming Defense was pretty awesome there. Actually, do I want the Blossoming Defense over the Snakeskin Veil? Probably, because it's going to end up pumping for 2 versus a permanent +1. I think that's probably going to be better in the long run, and kind of hope I can do something similar. So this deck, this energy deck, really hums against opponents that have limited interaction. When a Pummeler can be on the board and enough energy stored up, things get real silly. Okay, so limited green mana, which is the big problem, especially with Servant and Longtusk Cub. Of course, the Aether Hub can make 1 green, and then the Servant can make more green after that. Harness Lightning's pretty good if I need to kill something, but these Collision Colossus are probably going to be pretty useless overall. I think I'm gonna throw it back. This hand, kind of a similar situation, but I think slightly better with the Attune with the Aether, and then I think these Pummelers, if I can find, well, there's Trample. If I can find enough energy, then maybe I can get it up bigger than 20 and then swing in. We'll see. Collision Colossus, of course, is instant speed, so can maybe trick the opponent into blocking with like a 1/1 and then go way over the top. So I will keep that. Now, do I want to throw away a Pummeler or a Servant? I think it's probably going to be one Pummeler. It is risky, and they do generate a lot of energy if I play them back to back. So it's going to be turn 1 Aether Hub into Attune. Go get a Forest. Turn 2 Servant of the Conduit. Turn 3 Rootbound Crag into Pummeler. Turn 4 think about attacking if I have... yeah, I think that's got to be what it is. Okay, so I've got a lofty plan. See if I can follow through with it. Okay, there's the Prospector. Kind of wish I had the Harness Lightning now, but a little bit past that bridge. This is the card I'm definitely the most scared of in the Goblins deck because it just generates so much potential. But they are down to 4 cards, so we'll see. Well, okay, there's a Magma Spray. So does that change things? I gotta make a decision now because I am going to be using my 1 energy with the Aether Hub. I have to either Magma Spray the Prospector or use Attune with Aether. I think probably it's still Attune with Aether. Go get a red source instead of a green source, and then probably Magma Spray the Prospector on the following turn. Okay. Oh, well, one thing I completely forgot is that, of course, Attune with Aether is going to give me 2 energy, so I can use that 2 energy to fuel the Aether Hub next turn. Something that I'm definitely not quite used to yet. So I will grab a Forest instead, generate 2 energy. Maybe I should have still grabbed a Mountain there, I'm not sure. I don't know what the opponent's holdup is. Maybe they're upset that they had to mulligan so aggressively. It wasn't that aggressive, actually. It was just 1 card. Down to 6. Okay. Well, they just get in for 1. So
I don't know if I'm even really threatened at this point by the Skirt Prospector. So what I could do is just put out the Servant of the Conduit, then next turn Rootbound Crag into Pummeler and Magma Spray. Yeah, I think that's probably better. We'll go out with the Servant. Alright. So Servant finally resolves up to 4 energy, and well, we'll see if they have some way of maybe removing the Servant. It's not too surprising if they do. They have an Abrade. Well, I'd prefer them using the Abrade on the Servant rather than the Pummeler, obviously, but they might have a follow-up Pummeler. So it's definitely going to be able to punish this play by the opponent. So let's hit the War Chief and then play out the Voltaic Brawler. Gotta spend 1 energy, but can generate 2 in the process, and Brawler's gonna be a nice little threat to have on the board. They might have more removal in hand for that, again, rather than use it on the Brawler. Alright, so let's swing. Yeah. Pump it up. Might just have the opponent on their bad mana luck. I'm going to put this in untapped, just in case I have to use a Colossus to save something. If they have another Abrade, I can pump either one of these creatures up to a 4 toughness creature. Didn't really matter in the end. And hey, look at that. Gruul Energy beating Goblins in the first round. Next one. Alright, more Gruul Energy. Pretty good start for the deck. See if we can keep that going. So, get to play first. Exactly what we want to be doing. And no turn 1. Attune with Aether. You always want to see an Attune with Aether in the opening hand. But I think this is probably a manageable hand. It would be nice to draw a Stomping Ground, especially. I'm going to go out with the Aether Hub because I don't know if I want to put this on the red or the green side quite yet. I'm imagining it's going to go on green, but we'll just have to see. The opponent is on a Selesnya deck, so I am going to go out. I think I'm going to go out with the Long Tusk Cub. I'm going to throw out the threat. Since it is Selesnya, I think I should be able to get in a few points of damage quickly. And then this is going to start generating energy every time it deals combat damage. We get 2 energy. And the Long Tusk Cub can get out of control real quickly, but I got to imagine that they're going to have Skyclave Apparition. That's the name of it. Haven't played it in a long time. Since I am kind of expecting a Skyclave Apparition on the following turn, I think I'm just going to pass and hold up the Snakeskin Veil or the Blossoming Defense. Best draw next turn definitely is going to be a land. And it's a Righteous Valkyrie instead. Huh. Okie doke. Well. Okay. Going to attack. Missed on the land. If they block, I'm definitely going to be using Snakeskin Veil plus the pump. They don't block, so I'm still just going to pump it up once. Get in for a little bit of damage, and I think I need to put out the Servant of the Conduit now, just because I'm thinking I don't know if I'm going to hit this third land, and I think they probably have, certainly they have Skyclave Apparition in this deck. I imagine that's going to be the case, but they would have used it last turn if they had it, I think. However, collected company time, so anything could happen. Well, those are some pretty good hits. Oh man, I hate angels. Yeah, sure. So, now they're up over 27 life, and I think there's probably no chance. I definitely needed to hit those lands if I... Right on time, Mr. Forrest. Okay, I needed them a lot earlier.
So what can I even do? They're up to 37 life. Oh, I hate Angels and I hate Collected Company. I like playing Angels, that being said. I think my only avenue to victory is like an insane electrostatic pummeler. But I don't know why I'm even saying that, because the opponent's just going to kill me in the air this turn. There's nothing I can do about it unless they decide not to attack. Alright. So, I die. Yeah, of course. They have me plenty dead. Okay, so. Grafdigger's Cage, definitely coming in. I also don't hate Chandra just because it can deal 4 damage, and so many of their things being out of that, or 4 damage or more, it makes things so annoying. Okay. Probably cut the Snakeskin Veils again. You know, in my testing, I was running into a ton of decks that were playing Interaction. That's all I was facing was Sultai and Jeskai, and they were just murdering everything. So I actually put in the Snakeskin Veils because I thought there's no way this deck can function if it doesn't have more protection. And then these games are going the other way with it now. Harness Lightning is going to definitely be very good in this matchup because we can dump as much mana or energy into it as we want. I still need a little bit of protection because of Skyclave Apparition. It's going to be there. Collision Colossus is going to be very good for 6 damage to flyers. So, I don't know, maybe it's just cutting the Invigorated Rampages. Try to control their angels and then hopefully get in with the small ground creatures. I think this matchup overall is going to be relatively difficult. I think I'm going to end up keeping this, and I don't know if I'm going to regret it or not, but we do have some pretty good 2-drops. Can probably lead on Voltaic Brawler, and then next turn is going to probably be Longtusk Cub into Blossoming Defense, holding up Blossoming Defense. Maybe I should have led on the Cub, actually, to keep start generating. Well, no, turns out that was probably the right call. So I do want to get in for 4 damage because I want to make sure their life total keeps a little bit under control. What I'm debating right now is if I want to put in the Stomping Ground or the Rootbound Crag. I could shock in the Stomping Ground, hold up the Blossoming Defense, or, yeah, you know what, I'll just play at that. Next turn, shock in the Stomping Ground to put out the Bristling Hydra, and then hopefully between the Hydra, the Longtusk Cub, and the Voltaic Brawler, plus the Embercleave on the 5th turn, I should be able to get in for lethal. So, perfect. Okay. So I'm going to put out the Hydra first, just because I'm going to generate energy, and that means I'm going to have a pump on both the Longtusk Cub and the Voltaic Brawler. Well, they could trade. Do I think they're going to trade? The problem is I can't pump both. So I think what I do is I just attack with the Cub. If they want to throw both creatures in front of it, I can double pump. If they just throw one, single pump. Well, if it's a bishop, I'll double pump just to get rid of it. Hopefully they let it through. I think that's probably the best case scenario because I want to have enough energy to be able to give the Bristling Hydra hexproof. It does cost 3 energy. So, unfortunately, I am stuck at 2 energy now. If they have another apparition, that's going to be pretty annoying. Although, if they spend their turn playing out an apparition, they take the Bristling Hydra, then I can attack with both creatures and Embercleave on the following turn. Now, if they hit 2 apparitions here... Okay, those are fine hits. Not worried about that. Gain a little bit of life. Okay, another Bristling Hydra. Well, sticking to the plan of attacking like this, I think I will give the Voltaic Brawler Trample. Oh, the opponent's got a very cool pet. I didn't notice that. That must be from the pre-order for the next Dungeons & Dragons set. I quite like that. Okay. So this is going to be pretty cool because it's actually going to generate 4 energy because I believe it's whenever it hits. So yeah, the first hit is going to deal 3 and 1, generate 2 energy, and then it's going to hit again, which is going to give my Bristling Hydra protection for the next turn. Okay. Lots of things could still go wrong here. Having a Bishop of Wings on the field means they can generate so much health, especially with the Soul Warden. If they have another Collected Company, they hit a couple of big angels, things can go south real fast. Okay, Resplendent Angel. Not really too worried about that. Again, they're going to gain 5 life, but still they have a lot to contend with. And they're going to generate... no, that's actually a pretty bad thing because they're going to make another angel. Gain another 5 life. And Aether. Aether's not the worst draw, although I'm wondering if I just want to put out another Bristling Hydra. If I put out the Bristling Hydra, I'll go up to 8 energy, and that means this Long Tusk Cub can get 4 more pumps, representing 16 damage. That is very hard for them to deal with. I could also just put out... Actually, yeah, things get really funky when I do that. Okay, yeah, I'm going to put out Bristles. Now, I think I'm just attacking with the Long Tusk Cub. Yeah. Okay. Maybe they don't block. No block. Well, I'm going full pumps. And I get another pump here. A little bit short on damage. But they're down to 1. Kind of all in on this Long Tusk Cub, but of course I can re-equip the Ember Cleave to something else later. Collected Company, so my Hydras are vulnerable now. They hit. Okay, that's a little sucky, but maybe manageable. Okay. So I am only at 2, but I can play the Attune with Aether to go up to 4 energy next turn. Plus the 3 equip is going to use all my mana, but it will make my Bristling Hydra representing 12 damage. It's okay. Oh yeah, I forgot about... Yeah, I don't know if I can... Just the Resplendent Angel alone is going to probably win the game for them. But I think I have to just keep slamming in. I don't see what else I can really do. It's going to keep their life total under control, but each turn they're just... Between the Bishop and the Soul Warden, they're generating so much life. I wonder if last turn when I played out the second Bristling Hydra, gaining them 1 life, if I could have done it a different way. I don't think I could have, but... Wow. So I pump it up, it is then 12 damage, and... Okay. Then it will kill... Yeah, that's fine. Maybe I should have ordered it differently. Should I? Maybe it didn't matter. Alright, get rid of some things. Generate so much energy. Kind of getting tilted here. I don't know what I can really do against this. I definitely needed like a pummeler many turns ago. Something I could have dumped in tons of energy into with the Ember Cleave to really slam in, but no. Alright, so now it's just game over because they're going to gain another 8 life at the end of this turn. This is so silly. Oh, Angels. Really needed a collision or harness lightning or just some kind of removal to be able to stay into this game. In this game. Kind of a hard one to swallow, I think. So I need just something huge here. I don't even know what it could possibly be, but yeah, it's certainly not that. And I'm dead on the crackback. They're representing more than 13 damage in the air. So we give them the old hearts, and that's it. Move on to the next one. Oh, right. Next one with Gruul Energy. The last game was tough for me. I really want to go back. I'm going to spend a little bit of time watching that one because I feel like maybe I could have done something differently in that second game. Especially the first game, I think, was just certainly a lost cause. But I don't know. Alright, so opening hand a little bit not super threatening, but turn 2 Long Tusk Cub. Now with a follow-up turn 3, Long Tusk Cub into a Bristling Hydra is going to be okay. The opponent is on black though, so I'm kind of expecting a lot of spot removal. Need to find, well, yucky. I'm gonna attack, see if they want to trade. Okay, I'm fine offering 2 energy to trade because that thing is going to be very annoying to deal with. Go out with that and then maybe follow up with another Long Tusk Cub. Bluff some kind of interaction with this Rootbound Craig. Okay, well, get to attack in with the Tusk. They're going to be able to activate this Faceless Haven very soon. Murderous Rider. Well, can't do much about that. So, Bristling Hydra it is, and this is a pretty good card against the opponent, although I only have 1 activation with the Hexproof, so if they have 2 removal spells, that's the way it is. Okay, drawing lots of lands. So if I attack and they block with the Faceless Haven, I can pump it up, get it out of range of the Faceless Haven, trade for a land, and get some damage in because it does trample. I think that's pretty good. They don't. Okay. So in that case, I'm just going to put out the Brawler, hold up the Colossus, and probably play out the Stomping Ground. Okay, do what I can. Well, gotta do that. It blanks the Murderous Rider, goes to the graveyard, so that's pretty good. But again, if they have the follow-up removal spell, that's gonna kind of suck. Maybe it's a Heartless Act, and now with this one, maybe that's what it was. Who knows? Okay. So, I want to bring in another Snakeskin Veil against this deck because I know they're going to have lots of removal. I got to fix this. I forgot to change it. I have 2 M21 Heroic Interventions instead of playing one from Kaladesh. I don't know why it did it like this. What else am I going to bring in against this opponent? They're not playing Luris, so I don't know if I want to be bringing in a Grafdigger's Cage. They could have Luris in the main. I think the deck is kind of good the way it is. Just bring in my 1 extra Snakeskin Veil, and what am I going down? I think I'm going to take out one of the Colossus Collisions. Don't think it's going to be super impactful in this game. All right, well this is kind of cool.
So go out with a Timber Crown Pathway into the Attune with the Aether, as long as they don't have a Thoughtseize or Inquisition. Go get probably a green source and then play towards a Hydra. Between the Attune with the Aether and the Servant of the Conduit, I'm going to be generating enough energy to give the Bristling Hydra 2 chances at a pump. So that will be pretty good protection going forward in this matchup. And another Attune. That's not the worst draw. Okay, I'm gonna grab a Forest, just because Hydra is double Forest pips. So Aetherborn is going to be annoying because of Death Touch, and it's going to confirm what a friend said to me earlier when I was asking him about what I should be cutting and putting into the stack, and he said, well, you're going to have to contend with a lot of Death Touch, and I kind of disregarded that comment. And look where we are. Alright, so I put that out. Do I just go out with old Bristles? I really would like to attack the Sorin. The other choice is Snakeskin Veil, Blossoming Defense, kill the Sorin, which maybe is not the worst idea. I think I'm gonna go for that. Yeah, I want this Sorin gone. Pretty crazy to do that, but they're down to 3 cards. Sorin generates a ton of value. I just we'll see if that's the right decision or not. Traded 2 cards for 1. Pretty silly, but another Death Toucher. Well, that's going to be a problem. So Attune with the Aether is kind of a free roll here. Mountain, and I guess it is Hydra time. The Hydra will have access to 2 pumps, so going to be hard to remove. However, these gifted Aetherborns are going to be slamming in very effectively. Not a card that's fantastic, just one that I don't personally see very often from opponents. Well, I guess I take 5. Okay, well, Harness Lightning is pretty good. Again, this is a free roll, so may as well do it. Okay. So I think probably the plan now is to hope the opponent attacks with both of the Aetherborns again. I can block with the Servant of the Conduit on the 2/3, sacrifice that, and then kill the other one with the Harness Lightning. That's kind of a desperation draw. They have tons of life to do that, but telling me that they are getting desperate. Okay. Pay 4 into that. So the Death Touchers are dealt with. However, I am down to 5, and this is a problem for next turn. Embercleave's cool. Unfortunately, I can't do it. I can't do it defensively because I only have 5 mana. If I had the 6 mana, I could flash it out when they attack in and do some cool stuff. But I think I kind of just got to hold off at this time. I can't attack in. If I attack, I die, right? So, but they're gonna have a really hard time dealing with this Bristling Hydra. It'll hold down the fort quite effectively with the 3 pumps that it has and the Blossoming Defense in hand. Champion of Dusk, however, is a pretty good card for them. They get to draw 2. And I'm literally doing nothing this turn, and they're just going to flood out the board.
Okay, what do I need? That's not good enough. It's something, but basically useless. And another Death Touch creature. Just conveniently running into an opponent playing vampires so I can prove the giraffe correct. He'll understand that. Embercleave is going to be pretty bonkers against Death Touch, though, if it ever gets to that. You know what? I'm going to save the Servant of the Conduit. I don't think this Blossoming Defense is going to get much more value than blanking a Murderous Rider. Is that so? Is that so? Alright. You got it, bud. Well, I guess by doing that, now they can just... No, they can't win by attacking because I can block on the champion. They were one... No, they could have won there. Or they can win here. I thought they had passed through combat. Darn. Alright. Well, I got a block here, and I guess I lose. Hard pill to swallow. Alright. Well, we get a game 3. That's exciting, isn't it? Anything I want to change? Magma Spray is just, I think, not going to be good enough. Thragtusk actually might not be a bad card to bring in because it leaves a nice little body behind. I really feel like the Colossus Collision's not going to do a whole lot. Yeah. Alright. Let's see. We're on the play, so it could go possibly a little bit better this time through. Okay. Ouch. Throw it back. I guess I gotta keep this. Doesn't look too great though, does it? So is it the Voltaic Brawler? Because I'm going to play out the Forest into the Rootbound, into Servant, and then pray that I can get this Electrostatic Pummeler in. Big dreams going on here right now. Wow. The Brawler's a pretty good draw. Okay. Really wish I had some protection for the Pummeler. I don't think I can put it out yet. So just put out the Brawler. You know, get in for 2. They might not have anything, you know, you can kind of tell the turn just passed, so if they had like a Heartless Act or something, the game would have kind of indicated that. So there's the Murderous Rider. I wonder now, you know what? I'm gonna put out the Pummeler, and I'm gonna hope that next turn they don't have any kind of way of dealing with the Pummeler. Oh, they're hovering over it. Don't hover over it. Because this Pummeler can get huge. Oh. Okay, well, I can pump it out of the range of this. I guess that's what I have to do, right? That sucks to waste. Alright. Naming Advisor. So I can attack and equip the Embercleave. Goodness gracious. Just imagine if I didn't have to waste all that energy. What do I do? I'm gonna put it out. And then next turn, if they're planning on blocking with the Faceless Haven, I can use the Harness Lightning. Unfortunately, I'm 1 mana short again. I can put out one of these cards, but both of them only get me up to 1 pump.
So it makes it a 4/4 double striker. Am I supposed to just Harness Lightning the Murderous Rider? What a tough spot. I think I'm going to put out the Hydra. And attack with the Pummeler. They'll force a pump. Okay. I'd prefer they didn't block here. And then I could save the pump for the Bristling Hydra. Okay. Yeah. I'm fine dealing just a little bit of damage here. Okay. Well, now this Electrostatic Pummeler is going to get up to 16 damage with the Harness Lightning. Why are they attacking? Okay, so they have 1 mana. I don't know what they can... Oh no, Fatal... I think I realized it as it was happening. Why would they attack in to activate... Oh, Revolt. But it's still okay. I would have been able to put this onto the Bristling Hydra, and it would have been enough damage to get in. I can pump it once. It's 10 damage. They can block 4 of it. So, yeah, Embercleave showing its power in this matchup. I'm definitely glad I had it in the deck. Conveniently enough, Embercleave was the card my friend told me to take out so I could put in Snakeskin Veil. I don't know. Next one. Alright, last one with Gruul Energy. It turns out it's been Tribal Night. First match was against Goblins, then Angels. Last one against Vampires. So I'm kind of expecting Merfolk? Elves? Something like that. Okay. This hand, I think, is pretty close. Getting the 3rd land would be pretty awesome to be able to curve out into the Pummeler. Don't know what the opponent's on, obviously, so things could change, but as it is right now, I can only put out the Longtusk Cub. I can't hold up protection, but I think I feel something about this one. I'm going to keep it. I trust in my deck. Is it Elves for real? This is certainly Elves. This is truly Tribal Night. And the Harness Lightning coming in at an incredibly timely moment. Can't allow that to live. Gonna need a land off the top real badly. Okay, that's a land. Is it Pummeler? Maybe it's Pummeler. I think I have to threaten lethal, actually. So, with the Colossus and the Blossoming Defense, this Pummeler can get out of control real quickly. Obviously, they're going to generate a ton of mana, but they're down to 1 card in hand. So, they attack in for 5. That card they have is not relevant. So, between this, I'm pumping up to 7. I have 1 pump, it's 14. Okay, my turn. Harness Lightning, okay. So, is the play now Harness Lightning using 0 energy, go up to 7, then on the next turn, I'm going to take 9 damage, go down to a very, very weak total. If they have another Lord, okay, they have the Faceless Haven, I got to consider that. So that's probably not the right play to make. Maybe it's the Longtusk Cub, or maybe it's the Harness Lightning to kill the Archdruid. If I do that, I'm going to take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage. Tough spot. I just need a little bit more land, right? Unfortunately, the Longtusk Cub doesn't generate when it enters the battlefield. If this was a Servant of the Conduit, certainly I'd be playing it this turn and chump blocking with it. But it just kind of feels like a dead card to me right now. I think the best bet is Harness Lightning and see what they do. Okay, a land for the opponent. They're going to fire up that Faceless Haven. Oh, God. Alright. Well, this, I think, could have gone a little bit better had I drawn my lands on time, but as is, I think, this... is it lethal? Yeah. Yeah, even if I block, it's 13. I can survive. But... alright. Take 8. Maybe there's a miracle waiting for me at the top of my deck. Well, there's a land. The problem is they turn on Faceless Haven, they attack in. I have to put out like both Long Tusk Cubs to just survive. Maybe I should have attacked with the Pummeler, because it's not blocking anything. Okay. Well, now I only have to chump block the Craterhoof Behemoth. Gonna try my best to stay in it. There's the Conduit, right on time. There's no way, right? No, I think we're dead next turn. Oh, we're certainly dead next turn. Just that Craterhoof Behemoth took all plans that I kind of had and kind of stomped all over them, as a Craterhoof Behemoth does. Yeah, unfortunately, the top decks for the Elf deck, between Collected Company, Allosaurus Shepherd, and Craterhoof Behemoth, they're just a little bit better than the top decks for my deck. Alright. Well, we're dead. I can pump, but then they pump in response. Oh, they didn't. We're holding on. I don't know why I'm playing this one out. It's the end. It's fine. Now I believe there's nothing I can do as long as they... Why aren't they just firing up the Faceless Haven? See, here's a good example of why you should just play out your games. They still got me because they can pump with the Allosaurus Shepherd, attack with these 3. I can only block 2. It's going to be enough damage in. But why? You know, let your opponents make mistakes. I think they would have gotten in, right? Because yeah. I could only block 2 of them. I can block this. They would have been 5/5s. Do they not have enough mana with this? They would tap this for 4, 5, 6. They can pump with the Allosaurus Shepherd, unless I'm missing something. Oh, I mean, okay. Now things are looking much better. They could have just turned on the Faceless Haven. It would have been enough too. So, come on, attack! All the creatures. Yeah. Okay, there you go. All right, not gonna bother blocking. I've let this drag on for far too long. It's been a fairly short video, I think, so far, so can do that. Magma Sprays definitely coming in. Graph Digger's Cages definitely coming in. Still haven't changed the Heroic Interventions. What am I taking out? Probably Snakeskin Veil, probably Blossoming Defense, since I don't think they're going to have... Certainly they're not going to have any kind of interaction. Okay. Just gotta hit the lands a little bit more reliably and hopefully have a better start than I did in the last one. I think the hand I kept was a little bit questionable. Certainly, I thought I had a feeling about it, but you know, what can you do? They had the 2 Elvish Archdruids back to back, and the Crater Hoof, so yeah. Okay, pretty good aggression with these 2. Harness Lightning to kill a Lord. Try it. Opponent mulliganing down to 6. Not a big deal. And a Llanowar Elf to start. Well, land there is not bad. And I still think I'm going to go out with the Brawler, just so I can start punching them down. There's the Druid. So, let's kill that while we can. Very similar feeling to the last game. And I think I'm not going to pump. I don't need, like, 3 versus 4 damage. I don't need the trample. I think it's okay. I'd rather keep 3 energy. Shepherd is not ideal. Especially when they're at 4 mana already. I am going to pump this time because they do have the chump blocker. Okay. So I think we're going to be in kind of a slugfest right now. And with this Colossus, I might be able to squeak through some damage. You know, this could represent quite a bit, of course, quite a bit of damage. They only hit 1 Allosaurus Shepherd, though. That's a brutal hit for the opponent. It's the opposite of a hit. Alright. Attacking. I'm only going to pump up 1 Brawler because I want 2 pumps on the Tusk. Maybe I shouldn't have attacked with the other Brawler, but I think it'll be fine. So they're letting it through. So how much damage do we got? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, plus 4. Okay. Put it there. Nice. Not bad, not bad. So it turns out the deck can beat Elves. They just gotta not have a nutty draw. I'm gonna keep it the way it is. I think it's mostly fine. But with them on the play this time, I'm gonna definitely need to find my Magma Sprays and Harness Lightnings. If I don't, I think the game's just gonna be over. I have neither of those in hand and 1 land. The Grafter's Cage is really good, but not good enough with, you know, on its own merits. Wow, game. You really, really don't want me to have any chance, do you? So I guess I'm going to throw those away, and I'm going all in on this Pummeler making it through the game. Well, you know what? Magma Sprays are not the worst. There's merit to hitting the Llanowar Elf there, I think, but I really would rather hit 2 Elvish Archdruids. Alright, like clockwork, right? Get out of here. Maybe I should have played the Aether Hub just to generate. It's not going to matter, I don't think. Okay, Cocoa Mana. Marwyn. Well, that's another one that's got to die. Long Tusk Cub, not bad. Actually, should I just play with the Long Tusk Cub instead? Because this is going to be a pretty good attacker. Although they're going to have Collected Company mana, I'm not going to be comfortable attacking them at all. But I will have a pump next turn when I put out this Aether Hub, so it might be a little hard for them to stop it. And then if this can start generating energy, then the Pummeler will be a lot more effective. Of course, okay. Faceless Haven being tapped for mana, but that would have been very annoying to be on the field. They find the Allosaurus Shepherd, so next turn they can start pumping it. Okay, attack. So what I really need to find is a Colossus Collision now. or a Rampage. Either one will be just dandy. So no need to pump. That's fantastic. Put out the Pummeler. So now the Pummeler's got 2 pumps in it. If I do manage to find like an Ember Cleave or the Colossus Collision, Rampage, oh boy. Not a big deal, this War Master. Pretty good last game though, gotta say. Come on, Cleave. Cleave. Actually, maybe Cleave's not the best one to draw. Tusk. Okay, I am going to attack because I do have 3 pumps. It can get up to... I can get up pretty big. Okay. Damage in. They're very close to being able to turn on the Allosaurus Shepherd, though, so I got to be aware of that. I'm going to hold the forest back just to bluff something. And they're going to be turning, flipping this Growing Rites probably by the end of this turn. I think it's unlikely. I wonder how that works with Faceless Haven. If you have the Faceless Haven activated at the beginning of your end step, yeah, I guess it should probably recognize it as the 4th creature. Okay, still in the same position where I need Trample. And I need it real bad now because they actually have Allosaurus Shepherd. This is a mull to 5, so I think it is, right? Pretty rough draws here. And I can't attack in anymore because I do have, this can go up to a 6, but no, I think we're dead now. Now that this flipped 2 Shepherds, just the draws were kind of too bad. Might be able to hold off lethal though. Sure. And they can still activate the Faceless Haven. They're going to hold the Faceless Haven back as a blocker, which they should. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm just going to do that. I could block with the Long Tusk and pump it up, but I think the only way I win this game is by holding all of this energy and finding Trample and going super hard with the Pummeler. So, it comes down to this draw. Here we go. Well, I mean, the Pummeler still gets pretty big, right? He can, yeah, not big enough, and no Trample, so that is unfortunate. Let's see if the opponent doesn't realize how big it will get, and they just let it through. What? Okay. Well, that hurts. That hurts on a level you cannot imagine. I really thought, oh, I don't know how to. Oh, it hurts. my whole body. You got me. All right. Good game. Good game, opponent. That's gonna be it. At least it makes for entertaining TV, right? Go to a wrap-up. Alright, so Gruul Energy, pretty fun little deck to be playing. I think it's the better energy deck compared to the Aetherworks Marvel deck. That's just relying on hitting Ugins and Ulamogs off of Aetherworks Marvel, and it's no fun. This, however, is a super fun deck, I think. Electrostatic Pummeler leads to some silly things. Bristling Hydra and Long Tusk Cub are both all-star cards if they can get out of control very quickly. The rest of the energy package is pretty great. The regular support cards like Attune with the Aether and Servant of the Conduit, Harness Lightning, the deck works the way it is. It was made to work in Kaladesh. It was good in Standard. I think it can still do some cool things now. Snakeswinging Veil and Blossoming Defense are both very good cards, and I think they're necessary in this deck. They didn't really have a moment to shine in the games that I featured because for some reason I queued into 4 tribal decks in a row, decks that don't have a ton of interaction outside of Wilt. Still having trouble accepting that one. If the meta shifts away from decks like Jeskai and Sultai, heavy removal, spot removal decks, maybe you take these out, you swap in a couple more invigorated rampages, ways of giving trample to your creatures so that you can get in to smash the opponent down. Although there are already lots of ways to do that. Sideboard, I think, felt also pretty good to me. I don't have any complaints about it. So overall, cool little deck. A little bit hard to craft because these cards are very specific cards, especially Pummeler and the Hydra, but if you got them, may as well try it out. Anyways, thanks for making it to the end of the video. See you in the next one. Take care for now.